Well, good morning. We're starting a little bit late because had some technical difficulties and we may get some background noise because of the construction that's going on here locally. So I apologize for that. Let me go ahead and get things started again so that we can be sure that we're up and running. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the live. I'm streaming live from Binh Hoa City, Dong Nai Province in Vietnam, here at the Pegasus Plaza, as I do every Wednesday at 10 a.m. my local time. And it's 3 a.m. or just after 3 a.m. in London, and just after 10 p.m. Tuesday on the East Coast, USA. This is Nailing FX, Spot Forex Trading Simplified. Now here is the Nailing FX trading schedule. Once you've registered for free membership at www.tradewithufos.com, you can consult the list of pre-planned sessions and add them to your calendar. I'll show you that in just a second. The direct link to our sessions here, get-togethers, and also when you want to see the sessions live, here is the URL for that. Let me quickly go over to YouTube here. This is where you will go ahead and sign up. And up here you see Get Together. Let's click on the Get Together. I click on the Get Together. And let's see if I can get it to come up here. And what you'll see is the December schedule here. All right, there's the December schedule. All of December schedules. Let's get rid of that. And you see here, this is Nailing FX Bert, OPA Bert. And you can click that and it will put the schedule into your calendar. Okay, so you can get the calendar right there. You see we got the background noise already coming in again. All right, so let me go ahead and get rid of that for now and come back here. All right, here is the schedule as you just saw it. Today is the second Wednesday, my time, 2nd of December. You see Nailing FX is listed under Tuesday here for a YouTube session. That's because, as you see the note here, the schedule is based on New York City time, East Coast time. So it's actually after 10 p.m. in the East Coast. So although I do a Wednesday local in the US East Coast, it's a Tuesday night session. And you can see next Wednesday, it'll be an FX Street session, and you'll get all of this. Again, all of this information is provided to you, and you can set up your calendars by signing in at www.tradewithufos.com/OPA. All right. So today's session, we're starting a little bit late, so I'm going to run through it. We're going to focus on the AutoUFOs that we find in TradingView. We are still catching up on our November 23rd limit orders, and we'll, as we always do, do correlation and see if we can hunt for some trades. All right, so here is the autofocus on TradingView. All right, here what you see is the Euro USD 15-minute chart. I think I took this yesterday. Forgot to put in the timestamp, but this is the Euro USD 15-minute. This is the Euro USD 1 hour. And this is the Euro USD daily. All right. So what we're doing is we're looking at multiple time frames, and you can set up your trading view to see these three charts simultaneously, and your cursor will simultaneously move between these charts. Now what you're seeing here is that we have a UFO, okay, this little flying saucer here, and it is bound by this range. So we are looking at this cell. It's a red UFO, so this is a cell range in here, okay? And so the Euro USD has not gotten up to that cell yet, came very close right there. Down below here, these are the buy UFOs. Down in here, we can see the indication of what what the program anticipates that price will do here, okay? And so it's still showing with blue dots. Now, what it showed was that I would anticipate 6 to 7 moves to the upside at this point, and it's already gone 13. So it's got some weakness coming in. And so as we know, what is overbought or oversold can become more overbought and more oversold. And that's what's happening. We're seeing that in the 15-minute chart. Price has continued to go up, and we can see from our profile, our two profile lines here, that they're still showing some strength to the upside. Here on the hourly chart, same thing. Although in the hourly chart, what we have is we have hit into the selling range of the UFO here, okay? And what we did on the 23rd of November is we set up some trades to have a limit order go into the range of the sell or buy UFOs, and anticipated that they would turn around. What I'm finding is that without getting the auto climate down here, kind of confirmation, and the profile confirmation is not working out as well as we anticipated. So we need to be able to see an actual change in direction before we want to really jump onto a trade. And here is the daily. Here's the daily. The daily is still showing that we're trading in buy long range, a long buy range of the UFOs. So it's coming up to this. And again, the auto climate down below here. So this is just a quick review of auto UFOs. You can get all the details, all the information from Trade with UFOs. All right, so let's take a look. Here's a review of the November limit orders, all of the November limit orders. And down here you can see what happened. Remember, I put these trades on a different computer, my trading computer, and so they don't show up on this computer that I'm using for broadcasting. I have a different computer for broadcasting. But what you see here, and I'm going to try to see if I can get the laser pointer to work here. So yeah, that's a little better. What you can see here is that we had the stop loss set up over here. We had the entry. This was back when we first put it on, right? Back when we first put it on. And what's happened is that on the Aussie USD, which is this first one here, on the Aussie USD, we did get stopped out. We did get stopped out. Now this was stopped out on, where's the date? On the 24th. The next day, actually the next day we entered the trade. This shows an entry on that trade. And we did get stopped out on this trade. The other two trades are still active. One is live. The other one is still waiting for an entry. So this is what we looked at. These are the 23. And let's see here now. Come on. Why isn't this going to the next slide here? All right, I have to press the next slide. All right, so here's the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar. Here you can see this was the setup. This was the setup that we did on the 23rd. So on the 23rd, we were watching for this to rise, okay? And it actually took us in, and then we had a stop loss up here at 0.74026. And so what we've done, as you can see over here, this is yesterday. Price has definitely gone up beyond that stop. And so what we had, you can see down here, is on the 24th, we got stopped out, and that was a loss of $54.30, trading 1 mini, okay? And you can see it here. Here is the information. So the Aussie USD was stopped out, and so that trade is no longer on our screen, you know, to continue to watch. However, I'm still watching to see how long it will take for the price to actually roll over, because according to everything that we know, it's still overbought, okay? And we'll look at that in the price guide on the live charts here. Here is the US Singapore dollar. Again, here's what we looked at on the 26th. It was coming down to our target. Here again, yesterday, we can see that here's where we were back then, and so that's come down. This looks like it actually wants to turn around and may not make it to our entry. If it doesn't make it to the entry, and looks like it will in fact turn and go up, what I will do is, based on the auto climate down here, the auto climate turning blue, and my profile showing that it's got strength to the upside, as well as then looking at the curve, looking at the 33 channel, we'll see if there's enough room to go ahead and take a trade and look for it to maybe get up to this range up in here where we have this sell UFO, okay? Now that sell UFO is sitting right on a hard number here, 1.36000000. So that could be a good target if this turns around and goes up. So that's what we're looking at now on the on the US Singapore dollar. The next review here is the Aussie US, and it looks like to me that the Aussie US has gone into the sell range, this range up in here. So what I'm interested in now is to see if the the Kiwi USD, if this will in fact turn and come down, because it's still showing a lot of strength, good strength here in the profile. So the profile, the auto climate, and we'll take a look and see what the channel looks like. They're all giving us indications that price could continue to move to the upside. So I'm curious to see what will happen on that indication for there. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so now it's time for us to go ahead and see if we can't find something. Remember, we always go to live charting, and we're going to do some correlations, take a look at the correlations. And again, make sure that you go to tradewithufos.com/OPA to sign up for free subscription and never miss a trading session. You can also look for back sessions. You can get those sessions there, or you can just do a pure Google search using Nailing FX OPA Bert, and you'll find a lot of the videos. All right, so that's it for our PowerPoint, and let me go ahead and close that out. And now what I'm going to do is bring up, here is a live, right now, a live chart of all three of our sessions that we were looking at. You can see here, this one over here on the side here, I can't get this pointer to be too much bigger on this chart, but what you see is price actually popped up, hit the stop loss on the Aussie dollar. Okay, so we are stopped out on that, as I indicated, for about a $54 loss trading a mini contract. Okay, so now here is the Singapore dollar. Okay, and let's see if I can bring this one up, and let's take a look at that. No, that's not the Singapore. Let's go to Singapore dollar. All right, so here is the Singapore dollar, and I want to get my charts on here. Let's see. Singapore dollar. Get that up. All right, so it's not picking up on the one more time. Let's take a look here. 3, and highlight Singapore dollar and see if I can bring that up. There we go. All right, so here's the Singapore dollar. As I said, looking at it on TradingView, and there's links to TradingView, and use my link. When you use my link, you get a little bit of a discount. I get some help too, so it helps me out. And so here's our entry. We have not gotten to the entry yet. There's the stop loss, and there's the target. Okay. The auto climate is still indicating that price is going down. We've been in this down move for 21 periods. That's 21 days. I'm looking at a daily chart. That's a long time for price to have been dropping. So this is definitely trending to the downside. Had we caught it at the beginning back here, it would have been a very nice catch with some good pips. So lessons that learned, what we're learning, what I'm learning here, and instead of anticipating so much that the zones, the UFO zones, are the end all and be all, they are not. Okay, so we can't put all of our weight, all of our decision-making process on just the range inside the UFO areas. Okay, we need to look at what is happening in the channel, and remember the channel is a bigger session, an overall look at what's happening in the market, and then within the channel we'll be looking at the movement, the short-term movement of the price action by watching what's happening with the profile. And you can see here that the profile never changed once the blue moving average went below the red. It had some pullbacks, a couple of little pullbacks here, but it still stayed below. And so that was confirmed with the fact that the auto climate stayed red. We keep getting these red dots. There were some pullbacks, but we stayed there. All right, so now let's go ahead and go back here and let's take a look at this one. Okay, now we are, let me go ahead and move this around a little bit. All right, so as you can see here, we are definitely in this trade now, and we have a stop loss up here. You can see the stop loss up in that area up above there. It's my cursor is not the best here for that. Let me see if I can change that to the arrow. See if you can see that better. Not really, but anyways, we are in the Kiwi US dollar trade right now. However, the profile is still showing a lot of strength, current time frame strength, the hourly time frame strength, showing to the upside here, showing to the upside. We'll see if this will turn around and come down, and how far it will come down. We've got a very deep target down below. So this one has also been trading up for 21 days. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how that all works out. All right, so there are the three trades that we have on. Let me go ahead and put the crosshair back on. So what you can see is when you have multiple charts showing in trading view, and you use the crosshair, it shows up on all of those charts. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring that down for now, and let's go to the live chart here and see how it looks. I'm going to go ahead and increase this. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at the Aussie dollar. Here we can see that price is trading in the upper band of the channel. Okay, we can see here we got the dot, the upper band of the channel is fairly flat, and the lower band is still showing strength to the upside, and the profile is also still definitely showing strength to the upside. So it's no surprise, I should say, it's no surprise that we got stopped out on this one. Maybe our stop was a little bit too tight, having to put it above the channel dot. However, that would have made a significant, a very significant, large stop loss. And well, sometimes you have to take those larger stop losses in order to take the trade or wait. The lesson learned here, as far as I'm concerned, is rather than put too much weight on the trading zones that are shown up in various different ways, it's better to wait for multiple things to get confirmation, not just take a trade based on the zone. Since we were looking at using zones, that was the impetus, that was the reason why I took those trades based on zones. But in all cases, as you did see, I did recognize that price would continue to move against the direction of the trade, because I put in a limit order anticipating that price would make it to the limit order and then turn around. We'll see what happens. In the case of the Aussie USD, price not only made it to the limit order, it continued up and made it to the stop. So that was the Aussie USD. Let's take a look now at the Singapore dollar. Here you can see the Singapore dollar, the channel trend, and doesn't matter how you try to define the channel trend. Reading the channel trend, put on the crosshair and put it at the end right there, and now look at the way the channel trend line, the upper band, is moving, and you can see that based on this, well, it's created a little triangle here, and the direction is definitely down. Looking at the center, or the middle band, it's showing down, and the lower band is still slightly down, as is what? As is the profile. Okay, we're not using all 4 lines of the profile, we're just using the first 2 lines of the profile here, showing that price is coming down. I do have an alert, and that alert has occurred after a channel dot right here. So, you know, again, the thought might be, okay, go ahead and go long on this, because normally when you get an alert that follows a channel dot, it is a good high possibility that you're going to see a change in direction. We're still waiting for price to come down to the entry of the limit order on the euro, on the USD Singapore dollar, sorry. Okay, and so that is what we're looking at there. Now let's go ahead and look at the Kiwi US. Okay, and you can see here that the Kiwi US has not only gone into the upper band, but has definitely moved up in beyond the channel. And what that tells you is basically that, as we all know, overbought can become more overbought, right? Overbought can become more overbought, and that's what we're seeing here. The profile lines are still giving us strength to the upside, and so it's not a real good time to go ahead and try to take this trade. We are actually in a trade, and it doesn't show on this chart on this computer, unfortunately, but there is a stop loss up above the current price area, not too far above. And so if price spikes up, this could be another lost trade. And again, why? Let's recap. The channel was rising, so we had an overall, a big picture channel rising. We had the current channel, current trend, the channel rising. We had the overall, the big picture trend rising. We had the current trend going up. And so, again, that was the reason why we had a UFO sell area up above here. I was anticipating that price would go into that area, bounce, and come down. That hasn't happened. Price is still showing strength to the upside, as we can see here with the profile. So, possibly we'll get stopped out. We'll see what happens. We could get stopped out here before this turns around and comes down. So we'll be looking at that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and look at the euro. This was not a trade that we took, but it is something that has a possibility currently. All right, so this is the euro USD 1 hour, daily chart. Okay, here is the channel. Price has traded in, and we've got the channel dot with an alert. That a very aggressive type of trader could jump on this and see if this will turn around and come down. This doesn't look like it's going to come down very quickly. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to take that, and let's go back to here, and I'm going to go to basic UFO, and I'm going to go to this. Here's the Euro USD. Okay, and it is in a sell range. See, there's the sell range right there. Okay. Now, if it comes up here, and hits this UFO, that would be a good indication that price may want to come down. So if it does that, we've got a lot of activity down in here that's showing that we have this actually goes all the way down to here. All right, so you might be hearing some sounds, the construction sounds. They're doing some construction in a neighboring apartment here in my building, so hope that's not too disturbing. So now what I will do here is I will anticipate that price is going to turn around. The UFOs are a good indication that they will turn around. However, I don't want to get caught the same way we did before. So I will continue to watch this, and let's see if I can bring this up here. So you can see now that here, and let me do this. All right. All right, so what you're seeing here is that we have the sell zone here, the unfilled sell order sitting up here. And the position of the flying saucer, if you will, the position of this is actually where the algorithm believes most of those unfilled orders are. So even though it's saying that we have an area, okay, that started down below here and is up to here, the major portion of those unfilled orders are at the saucer itself. So we'll see what happens when price gets up there. These arrows down here, remember, these are the auto phase arrows. They come in the same way on our MT4 chart that the alert arrow comes in. The alert arrow, as alerts change and we have new data, the alert arrow moved. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for the last 6 days, we've continued to get alerts saying, hey, price is trading in areas where it is overbought, right? So this is overbought. The trend, the big picture trend is flat to slightly up, okay, flat to slightly up, which means that the strength is starting to wane in this, and so let's see what happens in this case. Okay, so what we're looking at there is a possibility for a trade, and all I need to do is at the beginning of a trading day, or at the end of a trading day, wait to see the new period begin and see how it affects there. So we need to have that set up. All right, so now what we'll do here is we've looked at the Euro USD. I'm going to, let's see, get this, put this down here and open this up, and I'm going to go to the US index. So I'm looking at US index now, because what I want to do is I want to show you how, using the information that we have here, we can make some decisions if you are a futures trader or if you are an options trader, in terms of anticipating what might happen. Here we see the Dow Jones, and now again we have this little squiggly, jagged, and so what we have to do is we have to go to a different time frame. Since I'm on the daily, I'm just going to drop down to the 4-hour and then go back to the daily so that we update the data, get the data updated. And so what we see here is that price was trading in the sell band, the high band of the channel, okay, the higher band of the channel, the upper band, which indicates what? That we are looking at an overbought situation, and price did pull back and then it came back up again. What I don't see on here are the bands, so let's go ahead and add the bands. The bands are here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to just change the colors on these bands. And my inputs, let's see, show set. I'm going to change that to false. Show crossovers, again, false. I'm going to clean this up. And show blue, true. Show red, true. Show green, no. My third profile line is not going to be shown. And the fourth profile line also not going to be shown. And you have down below here, you can set up push notifications for your indications. So here we go. There's your band, and you can see that it was up, it turned, came down. Did we get? Yeah, we got an indication that price was going to drop back here. Let's see if I can measure how well. That's points 2,255 points movement. Yeah. We got a noise. We got the noise. Okay, so let me see here. I think I've got the template, and apologize for that. Let's go to the light template. There it is. All right, so now let's look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, and again, I want to go to the light template. All right, so the NASDAQ is trading in the upper band of the channel, but the channel is still rising, showing overall strength, and the current strength, as indicated by the profile lines, is also showing upward strength. So that means we are looking at a continued move for some time to the upside. We've got a channel dot simultaneously with a alert, and this may be a turning point. We'd have to see how that might turn out. Okay, so let's take a look at the S&P, and no surprise here. Again, I'm going to adjust it for that little jog that's there, going back to the daily. All right, so you can see that it's demonstrating that the upward trend is starting to weaken. Upward trend is starting to weaken here. And something might be happening in the S&P. So it's a good idea to, even if your friends might be futures traders or options traders, maybe they have particular assets, particular stocks and things like that they would like to take a look at. TradingView has almost every, if not every, stock on the market. So if you understand, excuse me, if you understand how to read and analyze this, let's go ahead and put the template on here. Okay, so you see that our channel is showing upward strength overall. Overall, a little bit of flattening, but overall still upward strength, and the current trend. The overall trend of the channel showing the overall trend is up. So we can get a good idea of where price might continue to rise. So if I were in this trade, if I was holding something that was long on the S&P, I would continue to hold S&P the long, whether they're options or some other asset that correlates with the S&P. Finally, let's go ahead and look at the index. Okay, and again, let me go down, bring up some more data. You can see the dollar index, the dollar is showing weakness, definite weakness, template. There you go. So how do I analyze this real quickly? I look at the channel. The channel was flat to drifting down, okay? So once it starts to drift down, there is a higher probability, obviously, that price is going to move to the downside. And so I can definitely be looking at that situation. So the channel tells me three pieces of information. The channel tells me the overall direction of price movement. It tells me whether we are overbought, oversold, and it gives an indication of the overall strength of the price movement. Then in addition, we have the current trend. So the channel is giving me nice pieces of information about the trend. And then we have the profile lines telling me the current trends. You see current trend. The current trend is definitely showing down. Okay, and obviously that should be no surprise with this strong move to the downside here. Okay, so the dollar index is showing weakness. No surprise. Again, I only look at the charts. I don't try to analyze and make guesses. I'm not a market analyst. Analysts, as far as I'm concerned, are only people who tell you what happened after it happened. The charts will tell you what's happening now and what might, not absolute, but what might happen in the near future. Okay? So I put my weight on reading charts. I don't put my weight on analysts' excuses because they're using hindsight for the most part. And I don't use a lot of different technical indicators, very specific indicators that you know that I use. One of the main ones is the channel, okay, the channel. And let's see, I don't have it on this chart, but let's take a look at the 53, the MACD. Look at that, and you can see here that in addition to looking at what trend is happening here, the MACD is also confirming that price is likely to continue in its downward move, or if it is going to turn around, it's going to happen a little bit later. Here, that little circle on the MACD indicated where the MACD crossed below the signal line, and it stayed below the signal line, Here we see that the MACD stayed below zero. So the overall, again, the overall trend was to the downside. This all, again, correlating with TradingView, with the auto phase and the climate, auto climate, puts together a nice package that you can really count on to help improve your overall trading. So that's it for today. Again, I apologize for the noise and the delay in getting started, but we're all set. So have a great week, and I will see you again, talk to you again next Wednesday. Be sure to sign up, and on the YouTube, click the subscribe button and the like, and that's it for now. Enjoy.